it to be experimental.
Sure.
We will still, over time, we're going to add it.
Exactly.
And just to remind everybody, we still want to reach the beta and 1.0
Exactly.
this year.
Look at me. Now you see me.
The 063 patch for DayZ has finally been released on experimental servers. 063 marks DayZ's movement into the beta stage of development, and as the devs have said on their live stream before, 1.0, the full release of the game, should follow this year. So, based on what is currently playable in this patch, will these changes, as well as the ones that are planned for this patch, be enough to revive DayZ from this near-death state? No, not a fucking chance. Even though this is one of the earliest phases of the experimental patch and more changes are planned to come, the core elements that make this patch so important are already in the game. The new engine, the new player controller, the new combat system, the new inventory system, they're already here. They all can be played right now as of recording this video. And before anyone says all this will be fixed, this is only the early beta, just wait a few months, it'll all be patched. Allow me to summarize my history with this game, as well as some of its development, and explain why I no longer buy into these excuses anymore. I've been playing DayZ Standalone since the day it was released on Steam, December 2013, and I've played it fairly consistently since then. I've experienced all the great moments of this game, as well as the rock fucking bottom of this game, and after almost 2,000 hours, my patience has worn thin, and these excuses no longer convince me. I've been through all this shit before, and if I had a fucking dollar for every broken promise and excuse for why the DayZ devs didn't do this, why they didn't follow through with that, why they didn't meet this deadline or whatever, then I'd have enough money to buy some new fucking PC things. I do not believe the final release of 063 is going to be all that different from what we have now on experimental. Yeah, the simple bugs will be fixed, and they'll probably fucking break something else in the process like they always do. Vehicles will be back at some point, maybe a month or two down the line, but they're probably not going to work that much better than they do now, if not working worse. And that's where the expectations end for me. The realistic ones, that is. A lot of the gripes that myself and others have with this game are probably going to be here to stay. And are going to be something we're going to have to get used to if we want to continue playing this game. Which is shit that the people that still play this game frequently are so used to doing, because they like cucking themselves in order to try and enjoy a broken mess. And they'll continue to religiously defend this game on Reddit and the comment sections like they have been for years, like some fucking masochists. The biggest changes that are in this patch are also some of the most flawed and straight up fucking retarded changes I've had to deal with in this game. And that includes the time where they had a problem with people glitching into the 2-story camo building that spawns military loot and camping for easy kills, so instead of just fixing the fucking walls, they just turned off the loot in the building for 2 years. The worst change in this patch, by far, has to be the new inventory system. This shit is fucking infuriating. The old system wasn't the best, and it was kind of confusing to understand at first, but eventually you got used to it, and you realized how fucking simple and handy it was, compared to this fucking abomination. Before, most of the interactions minus using guns could be executed by right-clicking and picking an option list of actions. Swap, pick up, open, all that sort of stuff. Now, literally every single fucking item in the goddamn game, legit, every single fucking item requires you to put it in your hands and use it. I don't mean figuratively use it, like, role play, opening up a box of ammo, loading a magazine, all that sort of stuff. You literally have to fucking drag it into your hands, do a 5-second animation to open the box, get the bullets in your hand, open your inventory, put the bullets away, put the magazine in your hands, open the inventory again, drag the bullets onto the mag, do a 10 fucking second animation that takes even longer sometimes depending on how many bullets you have, to load every single bullet individually, open your inventory again, put the mag away, put the gun into your hands, open your inventory again for the 100th time, drag the mag onto the gun, do an animation, and you're finally finished. That shit takes around like 30 seconds or more, and before, in the old patch, old inventory system, it took 5 seconds at the most if you weren't fucking retarded. And if that wasn't painful enough, now when you open your inventory, you come to a complete stop. Why? You're telling me people can't look in their pockets while walking or jogging, something that people have been doing since the game first came out? Are you trying to bring this system back to Arma 2 inventory system? Because this is a great step in that direction if that's what you're doing. These gunfights now go one of two ways. You either hit your shots and kill them really quickly, vice versa, or both of you miss enough that neither person dies and you have to run into a fucking corner, spend 30 minutes to a minute loading your magazine, getting your ammo set all situated again, and then going back and doing the same thing again. Like, the old system before was pretty clunky, pretty awkward, kind of slow, but this is just worse. This is just 10 times worse. Like, at least there was some chaos, some fucking action-packed moments in gunfights in the old patches, you know? You'd be running around, even though you missed your shots, you'd be able to fucking reload on the fly, do all that sort of shit. Now it's just like, it feels like it's a turn-based thing now, you know? You do your action, and you run away and hide and fucking recoup for the next minute or so. And that's too bad, because this new combat system is actually really good. I like it quite a lot. But this whole inventory system just drags it down and makes it a lot worse than it should be. That's a common theme with this patch, slowing the game down. You know, the running scenario that's grindy and at points very unforgiving. Well, that's just not fucking slow enough. Let's add a stamina bar to that shit. Now, your character's a stamina bar that shrinks in size the more items you pick up and drains the fuck out of your food and drink every time you use it. It can even get so small to the point where you can't sprint at all, which makes no fucking sense, because why would you even have a little chunk of stamina there in the first place? Oh, it's because whenever you melee, you also use stamina. So in order to survive the new Speedy Gonzalez zombies there in the game now, you're going to have to need a lot of nourishment and hydration, otherwise your health is going to drop, and the lower it gets, the slower it gets, until you are crawling on the floor begging for death. The game actually slows you down and punishes you if you don't have food or water, which just makes it harder to get those things in the first place. It's an endless cycle of just punching you while you're down. So if you're shit out of luck when it comes to loot in the first 15 minutes of the game, you might as well just fucking F11 and kill yourself. You know, the stamina bar wouldn't even be that much of a problem if there were vehicles in the game, but there aren't vehicles in the game, and knowing the fucking track record of this game, the vehicles are probably going to be broken again, like they always are. Whether it's rubber banding, or super fragile, or not being able to find parts, it'll always be some bullshit, making it so that you might as well just fucking run, again. Not everything in this patch is hot garbage, just most of the things in this patch. Like I mentioned earlier, the new combat system is actually pretty good. I don't feel any lag when I was fighting people. I didn't feel like people were tanking fucking bullets only to kill me anyways and then dropping over dead like 2 seconds later because of fucking late reaction. It felt fluid, it felt responsive, it generally felt nice. It's something I wish the game had a long time ago. The new airfield, Northwest Airfield changes are really nice too. The shit actually feels like a proper military airfield. It's fucking gigantic. Like it trivializes Tissy, but I hate that place anyway, so I have no problem with it. I even have a little firefight up in the tents too before my journey ended. But that's about the last good thing I'm going to say about this patch. Other than the core gameplay changes I listed earlier, the rest of the decisions made by the devs in this patch are pretty much just fucking the same amount of stupidity, if not worse. Like, the new zombie sounds have to be some of the dumbest fucking sounding things ever. Like, why would they change it, the original sound, which had been around since, I think, Arma 2, and it was fine, it wasn't great, but it did the job, but they replaced it with this garbage? Like, who the fuck would actually pay someone to voice act this and then put it in their game thinking it was a good idea? The new melee animations are fucking autistic as well. Like, the last ones were boring as shit, and they were not great at all. But these new ones are by no means better. I don't care what anyone says. Like, look, who the fuck swings a sledgehammer like that?
Oh, you're thinking, might be a vertical chop, you know, smash this guy?
Yes. Better yet, who swings any melee weapon like this? Even a hatchet. It just looks stupid, and it's inaccurate as shit. You have to flail around wildly in order to get a few hits on a zombie, but if you mess that up, just know they're gonna fucking stagger the shit out of you, knock the head out of you like you're some scarecrow, and then put you at least half health, if not kill you outright with their stun lock. There are so many problems with this patch right now that it's really hard to list them all. There's no jumping, no collision with walls when it comes to melee combat, you don't go unconscious anymore, like for some reason, you lose thirst and hunger, and it makes you limp and then crawl, like the list goes on. And I know there's still more time in experimental, they're probably going to patch all this stuff, because of course they want fucking unconsciousness back in the game, and jumping is like that. I would hope so, at least. But that just isn't enough. It's not enough. This patch is not going to be good. I do not think it's going to be good. The major changes, like the inventory and the stamina, are going to be here to stay. There's no way they're getting rid of that. And it's probably going to function the exact same way it does, like, months down the line. The devs want to make their game even more hardcore and realistic, in big-ass fucking quotes. And are going to alienate more people in the process, like they have been for years. Like, every time they fucking try and cater to, like, this hardcore crowd and make the game even more fucking intense and immersive or whatever, they just shrink the player base more and more, because most people don't want to play this fucking grindy shit. They don't want to play a game that's so-called hardcore and realistic in one aspect, and then broken and unrealistic and shit in the other. Like, I don't care if you're fucking survival aspects or whatever are super realistic if your zombies just are broken pieces of shit that fly through walls. In 2018, like, you've had 5 years and they're still this broken. I don't care what you have to say. This is not realistic. Your heads are so far up your ass that it's hard to tell if you're ever going to pull them out. It may seem like I fucking hate this game with a passion and I want it to fucking die and fail, but that could be farther from the truth. I used to love this game. I adored this game and the mod. I played them for countless hours. 2,000 in standalone, almost. And probably the same number in DayZ mod armor too. And I've met so many great people in this game, from both random encounters in Chernogorsk or Namalsk to DayZ RP, where I've met people that I still talk to every day for like 3 years now, I think. And in that time, I've watched this game, this franchise, if you want to call it that, if you include the mod, something I cherish dearly, held greatly in fucking regard, that I defended the shit out of too, back in the day, like the good old fanboy I was. I've just watched it turn into this disgusting fucking sore in my Steam library that just festers there and drops players daily. It's gone from being on top of the world in 2012, 2013, jump-starting fucking these big-ass YouTubers' careers like Frankie and all those people like that, and now it's Inside Syndicate, and now it's just fallen into obscurity by stupid decisions and inaction and broken promises and greed. There's plenty of greed to go with it too. I didn't touch this game for 7 months because I wanted to wait for the experimental patch. I wanted to go in there with the lowest expectations possible and then come out pleased, because they couldn't possibly be worse than I expected. And yet I'm making this video because it's still shit. It's not good enough. It's not going to help this game at all. It will give the initial boost of players like it always does when a patch comes out for this game. Boost of a few thousand generously, especially if streamers play on it, and then it'll just nosedive right back down. And if their beta release flops, then this game is just dead for good. There's no coming back. There really is no coming back. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong about this. I hope experimental gets much better. I hope 6.3 makes it to live servers this year as the savior patch of DayZ, something that could top 6.0, which in my opinion was the best patch that DayZ ever had. I hope it does, but I don't think it will. So Bohemia, please, prove me wrong.